Hello everyone, welcome to the chemistry class. In today's lecture, I am going to start new chapter, chapter 3, atoms and molecules. Let's see the history of this. Around 500 BC, two Indian philosophers, Maharishi Kanad and Pakuda Katayama, they gave little bit about this Padarth and Paramanu, and first it was Kanad who talked about Padarth. Padarth means matter. What he said is, everything, when you divide this padarth or matter, if you repeatedly keeping on doing this thing, you will end up in the smallest particle that is known as Paramanu. So he gave that name Paramanu. Now his philosophy, it was elaborated by Katayama. What he said is, when this Paramanu combines, they will give you all type of matter present in this surrounding. Okay, so Paramanu name given by these Indian philosopher. And the same era, two Greek philosophers, Democritus and Lysippus, they gave this Paramanu the name atom. The theory was similar, only thing is they gave this name atom. Now these are based on philosophies. There was no experimental proof at that time. Then in the 18th century, the scientists, they knew about difference between elements and compounds. So they were eager to know what are the things that made up of these elements and compounds and how they react to combine to form these elements and compounds. So the scientist Lavoisier, he laid the foundation of chemical science by giving two important laws. One is law of conservation of mass and other is law of constant proportion. Now law of conservation of mass is mass cannot be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Now that means, let's say if I have two chemicals, one is X and one is Y. So when I combine this X and Y, let's say some chemical reaction takes place and they form A plus B plus C. They form three different type of chemicals. Now let's say initially this X is having mass of 20 grams and this Y is having mass of 10 grams. So total here what you have is 30 grams. So in the after chemical reaction, whatever product we will get, the combined mass of these three should be equal to 30 grams. It can be either 10 plus 9 plus 6 or in any combination, but it should be equal to this 30 grams. Okay, so mass before any reaction should be equal to mass after any reaction. This is law of conservation of mass. It cannot be like this is 30 gram and here you have only 25 gram. No. And you have to take in consideration all the things that are formed in the chemical reactions. Similarly, law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion means in a chemical substance, elements they combine in definite proportion. And irrespective of where you are taking that chemical substance, it will remain same. For example, let's say water. In case of water, you know water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. And this hydrogen and oxygen in water, they are in the ratio 1:8. That means for one hydrogen, you have 8 oxygen. Okay. So if let's say you have 9 gram of water. So in this 9 gram of water, you will have 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen. Irrespective of from where you are taking this water, irrespective of any source, water is always in the water, hydrogen and oxygen, they will always in this ratio 1:8. We can take one more example, ammonia. Formula of ammonia is NH3, and in this ammonia, nitrogen and hydrogen, they are always in the form 14:3. That means for 14 nitrogen, you have 3 oxygen. Now, it doesn't matter you are preparing ammonia from which method, you will always end up in this proportion. These proportions are fixed. So whenever I am saying water, you will always have this ratio 1:8, never like 1:7 or 1:5. When you are talking about ammonia, you will always have these elements in some definite proportion. Now one British scientist, after this laws, one British scientist Dalton, he gave his atomic theory. He took his name from here, atom, and he gave his atomic theory. These are the important points of this atomic theory. Theoretical only, no experimental proof, but they helped further scientists to understand these things very nicely. Though many of the things they are, if you see today, many of the things they are not true, but at that time this theory helped a lot scientists to find new things. Now the important points of Dalton's atomic theory. First is all matter is made up of tiny particles called atoms. So at that time they don't know about electron, proton and like that. For them atom was the smallest particle, and they said all the matter is made up of this atoms. Atoms are indivisible particles. You cannot break atom. That's the smallest part, you cannot break them. Atoms of given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. That means if I have, let's say, NH3 and H2O, hydrogen here, hydrogen here. So here and here, they'll have same mass and chemical properties. When they'll combine, they will give something different. But if, let's say, here I have taken different one, but hydrogen in any case, it will show same properties and same mass. Atoms in this hydrogen is made up of many atoms. Okay, and each atom will show same type of chemical properties and they have same mass. But if you have different elements, like one you have hydrogen, one you have oxygen. Now atoms in this, atom of hydrogen and atom of oxygen, they too will be different. They will show different properties and they have different mass. So atom of same elements, they have same properties, they will show same properties and mass. Whereas atom of different elements, they will show different properties. Atoms combine in ratio of small whole number to form compounds. So these two, like example hydrogen and oxygen, they will combine like H2O to form a compound. Same, there are many other elements that will combine in the ratio in a definite proportion to give you a compound. And the relative number of kinds of atoms are constant in given compound. Okay. For a compound, you will always have this fixed proportion, they will never change. For here, like relative number, that means for one hydrogen here, you have 8 oxygen. So this will always be same, it will never change. The main point of Dalton's atomic theory you should know, and even by this postulates you can see law of conservation of mass. And one more thing, this law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion, they are not theoretical. After doing many experiments, he got these two laws. Now these two laws you can see in this postulates also. Like if you see law of conservation of mass. So if you see here, atoms of given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. They are indivisible particles. So this law of conservation of mass you can see from postulate second. Atoms are indivisible particles. They cannot be created, they cannot be destroyed. Similarly, law of constant proportion. From which postulate you can see this law of constant proportion? So atoms, they combine in ratio of small whole number to form compound, and sixth one. Fifth and sixth is for this constant proportion, and second one is for. So this is pure theoretical and this is the experiment. You can see they are very much similar. This much for today. The next class we will talk about what is atom and periodic table. Thank you.